Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, and welcome to a very special, unprecedented event here at Nithyananda Peetham, Bengaluru Adheenam, glimpses of my Sadashivatva. So first I'd like to welcome everyone who's sitting with us here in the Adheenam and around the world in hundreds of centers, and also those who are joining us on Facebook Live. As you can see, Swamiji himself is here. That's what makes this the most special sacred part of our day. And what makes this an unprecedented event is the fact that we are celebrating the graduation day of a program being offered here for the first time ever, Sadashivatva, which is a 21-day orientation into becoming an Adheenavasi. I'm sure you've all seen glimpses of my inner awakening before. It's the celebration at the end of the 21-day Inner Awakening program. Of course, participants are all very excited, very happy to share the breakthroughs they've had. But it's always a little bit bittersweet because naturally at the end of 21 days, living in Kailash with Sadashiva, nobody wants to go home. After this program, the joy and the excitement is pure. There's no tinge of sadness. There's nobody who's going to feel a regret that they have to go back to the Maya matrix, because forevermore, those who you'll meet today will be Kailasavasis, living here in Kailash. So what exactly is Sadashivatva? Swamiji has explained to us very beautifully. He let us know the purpose of life itself is having that superconscious breakthrough and becoming Sadashiva. Not only manifesting Sadashivatva, which means living the state of Sadashiva, radiating the space of Sadashiva and manifesting the Shaktis of Sadashiva. Not only manifesting that within, but helping others to do the same. Sadashivatva is all about that, getting the experience of being Sadashiva, having that state, space, and manifesting the Shaktis, and then causing that as a reality for everyone. The purpose of life itself is so far beyond just the purpose of human life. This isn't something that applies only to us. Actually, the reason life first came to planet Earth, to the cosmos, is for this superconscious breakthrough. When the first amoeba became fish and had that physical breakthrough, and then that fish became monkey, having the physical and mental breakthrough, then monkey to man, which was a physical, mental, and conscious breakthrough. In other words, not only the body changed, and the mind developed, and the self-awareness was there, but also the awareness of individuality. The whole goal was this. When that monkey became man and started experiencing consciousness, that consciousness is yearning for something. For what is that consciousness yearning? Naturally, Sadashiva. Becoming one with Sadashiva, experiencing that Shaktipada, through which all the Shaktis express, is Sadashivatva. That is the superconscious breakthrough Swamiji is giving to all of us. The most beautiful thing about this superconscious breakthrough is that it's something that's being experienced literally by everyone now sitting in this hall. We can see the culmination of all the enlightened incarnations who have happened on the planet, all the enlightened masters who have come here. Naturally, when we know the purpose of life itself, those who come into human form to guide and raise human consciousness will be working towards that. This is what Sri Yogananda yearned for. This is exactly what Swami Vivekananda visualized. It's what Sri Aurobindo aspired to. And now, in his current avatar, Sadashiva himself has made it a reality. When we talk about the Shaktis of Sadashiva, these powers, it's not just referring to some heightened ability. This doesn't mean just having a deeper strength physically or a greater flexibility in yoga. These powers are what those who are not here experiencing them yet might consider to be like science fiction. For the uninitiated, they might seem even impossible. The 463 Shaktis of Sadashiva, they're powers that include, through the power of the third eye, being able to see all the way to the other side of the world, to give great details about a scene that you've never beheld physically through the two eyes before. Through that Shaktipada, through the oneness with Sadashiva himself, through Swamiji himself, we're able to literally see into any distance. Similarly, we can actually see into the human body and describe exactly the physical conditions that are going on inside. Not only giving a description about what's happening physically, but also the cause of that physical experience, whether it's an illness, an injury, or a peak health. Being able to see that, see its cause, and also offer a solution. Swamiji has also initiated this batch of Sadashivatva participants, this very first privileged, blessed group of Adheenavasis. When they scan someone's body, the healing energy that flows through the third eye will just bring relief to all the ailments described. Besides that, when we do a remote viewing, when we look through time and space and describe somebody's home on the other side of the world, any discrepancies in the vastu, meaning the placement of objects within the house, the flow of energy through that home, if it's not in alignment, that's also going to be healed. Now, many of you might have heard of siddhis, which are powers that express through self-effort. In today's video magazine, Nithyananda Times Daily Video Magazine, Swamiji himself was explaining to Rajiv Malhotraji the difference between the siddhi and the shakti. And Swamiji was explaining in Patanjali's system, someone doesn't need a guru. They can pick up the book from the shelf and start practicing. And eventually, through that practice, through that self-effort, they may have a siddhi develop. But that siddhi, it may or may not lead them to enlightenment. It may or may not flower with the ability to actually heal what's being seen. Very, very likely it won't. What makes a Shakti unique is that the Shakti is not something that we earn through self-effort, and it's definitely not something that we can acquire by picking up a book and reading. It comes just through that feeling of oneness with Sadashiva himself, with Swamiji himself. When that oneness is there, the Shakti simply expresses. And I speak not only for myself, but those who are seated with me on stage now. When we start demonstrating these Shaktis, it always comes through that feeling connection and that oneness with Sadashiva. Now, the breakthroughs that we're having in this Sadashivatva program, these breakthroughs are so far beyond anything I've seen in Inner Awakening before. Actually, on the very first day that Swamiji initiated us into manifesting Shaktis, even before he physically touched many of the people here, before the first energy darshan, everyone had at least one experience. On the first day itself, for the first time in the history of this Adheenam, there were 3 different Shaktis introduced to the whole group. And we all casually played with, experienced, and enjoyed all 3. That's remote viewing, the ability to see into a great distance through the third eye. Body scanning, the ability to just look into somebody and see what's happening in their physical form. And consciousness over matter, the ability to actually move matter just by the focused consciousness. Actually, even the focus isn't necessary. Just by making that declaration through that oneness connection with Swamiji. These breakthroughs were even further heightened, and the experiences all of us had were taken to the next level when Swamiji introduced to us the manifestation of powerful cognitions. He told that sweet experience that he had with Arunagiri Yogeshwara, the Sami Onada moment, and gave all of us a taste of that same sweet space with him. What it is to manifest a powerful cognition is to realize that by nature of the fact that we've been blessed to live here in the very energy field, in the sacred ambience, in the place where Sadashiva himself is physically residing, by nature of that fact, we've already achieved the peak any human being can achieve on the planet. And if we've come this far, and Sadashiva himself is telling us we're here to become superhumans, to become extensions of Sadashiva himself, naturally we know we're going to make it to that finish line. All the Shaktis into which he initiates us, we're going to express. Everything that Swamiji has declared is going to be our reality. If it wasn't going to be our reality, we wouldn't be here. The Sadashivatva participants who are here today on their graduation day are naturally the most blessed beings in existence, not only on planet Earth, but on all the planets and all the lokas and all the realms and all the dimensions, because we're the ones who get to be here with him.
I am actually more proud of even Sadashivoham graduation day and today. This is the best feeling I had on any graduation day, because you guys are not graduating and leaving, you guys are graduating and starting. Graduating not to go for work, but to do PhD. There is a big difference. That is the biggest difference. And I tell you, being alive is the most important thing to be celebrated, not just on this planet Earth or this universe, in the whole cosmos. And that being alive is having a next level breakthrough, superconscious breakthrough. This is the best thing happening on the planet Earth. The best can happen to the universe. I am so happy the software is successful. The software is successful. Now it is all about the question of manifesting further powers. Otherwise, the initiation software itself is successful. It is successful. It is just a question of helping you all with more and more Shaktipada. Everyday puja is more than enough. That 2 hours Shaktipada is enough for you to move next and power manifestation. We will be having everyday power manifestation after the puja from today. Today we also have Adheenavasi initiation and Sannyas initiation. The grand.
So, we are all beyond blessed to be here. I think even the reality of the greatness of the blessings that we have to be here in the greatest happening in the cosmos is something that we'll be struggling to understand even at the end of this lifetime when we know we'll be liberated and with Swamiji eternally. It's just such a huge thrill and a huge treat. Swamiji had mentioned that just sitting for the daily Pada Puja is enough for that Shakti Pada to happen, so that we'll be manifesting all of these Shaktis. And actually, just being there for the daily Pada Puja is something that so many of the Sadashivatva participants, Adheenavasis, are saying is like the highlight of their day. To see Swamiji in the Garbha Mandir, to be able to just pour out our devotion and our gratitude to him, what more can we want? And when that's also something that's empowering us, giving us this feeling connection, giving us the oneness and the Shaktis, it's so beautiful. Swamiji had actually told all of us there's only one thing we need to do in order to be successful in this program, and that's have integrity to the routine that he has very perfectly given to us. So in the morning, we enjoy the Nithyananda Yoga, followed by the Pada Puja, followed by the Kirtan, dancing and jumping.
Panchakriyas.
Ah, sorry, Swamiji. After the yoga, the Panchakriyas, cleansing the body, followed by the Puja, and the Kirtans and the Satsang. And how cool is it that now we know every day this is also going to include manifesting Shaktis. So just having integrity to this, that's literally our only job. That's all we have to do, and he expresses the Shaktis through us. The first Shakti that we're going to demonstrate for everyone today will be remote viewing, remote vision, scanning something totally on the other part of the world, maybe on the other side of the world, maybe on the other side of the state. We never know, because each time it's a totally new place that none of us have seen before. In order to demonstrate this Shakti, I'd like to invite two volunteers who are seated here in the Raja Sabha, here in Nithyananda Peetham, Bengaluru Adheenam. Anyone who has never before come to the stage to have your place scanned by Nithyananda yogis. So anyone here, it doesn't matter for which program you've come. All that matters is that you've never before had your place scanned in a remote viewing. Yes, Ma, you can also come. So one on the gents' side, one on the ladies' side are now coming to the stage. What's going to happen now is that those who have been initiated by Swamiji, by Sadashiva himself, to demonstrate this Shakti of the third eye, are going to simply look. Yes, please come forward where they can see you. And if the volunteers can give her a microphone, she can introduce herself. And on this side, you also can come forward. So you can introduce yourself, but avoid telling any details about where you're from and what your place is like, because they're going to scan and see that for you.
All right, great. My name is Janelle Holmes. Janelle Holmes.
My name is B.C. Mittal. I am from Delhi, India.
Okay, so those of us who are demonstrating the Shakti of remote scanning, sitting on this side of the stage, we'll be scanning for B.C. Mittal. So we'll be scanning for B.C. Mittal, and those who are seated on the other side of Swamiji, you'll be scanning for Janelle. So now, the way that we begin the power manifestation is always through oneness. Swamiji has initiated us into a beautiful Mahavakya, which is like a password that unlocks that oneness. Once he initiates us into it, it just flows. So let's all chant the Mahavakya, experience that oneness with Sadashiva, and then start scanning. And Janelle, you can keep standing. You can both stand, and we'll scan you. So now please look through the third eye, start scanning, and making note of any details that you can see. And the moment someone sees a detail, the moment that you have the clarity, the moment through the third eye, Sadashiva reveals for you the details of their residences, you can take the microphone, introduce yourself, and then share what Sadashiva has shown you. The way these powers flow, actually, one of the most exciting parts of the Sadashivatva program have been the manifesting Shakti sessions, because each time we'll hear the sudden, spontaneous, uproarious laughter coming from various parts of the hall, the moment someone has a breakthrough and sees something that they never would have imagined themselves capable of seeing. There was one participant here, one new Adheenavasi here. She was absolutely shocked that someone was able to just sit down and look at her home and describe not only the floor plan, the layout, and the garden, but also the number of chairs around the dining room table, which was unusual. There have been times when we've looked and we've seen the size of the bed and described it. Sometimes it's the color of the wall, sometimes it's the types of trees growing in the garden. Each time the detail Sadashiva shows is something truly amazing. And as I had mentioned, each time it's totally unique. If someone wants to give a speech, they can practice their speech, they can write it down, they can rehearse it, they can give themselves jot notes. But if someone is demonstrating a Shakti of Sadashiva, it's impossible to plan what you're going to say, to prepare for it. It has to be spontaneous. Because each time we scan, what we're scanning is brand new. So on this side, is anyone ready to begin? Yes, please go ahead.
Nithyanandam. My name is Srinitya Jagat Premananda. So as I scan, what Sadashiva showed me is, the moment I enter your house, there is a small garden in the front portion, and on the left hand side, there is a staircase which is leading to a balcony on top of it. And when I'm entering your house, on the lower ground, I'm able to see 2 bedrooms, and there is one staircase which is leading up to the second floor. It's kind of a swirl kind of staircase, and there I'm able to see 1 room, and your floor is actually it's kind of light brownish color. That is what Sadashiva is showing me here.
And does anyone else have something to share on this side? Yes, please go ahead.
Nithyanandam. My name is Arivendan. I'm from Malaysia. What Swamiji showed, from the outside I was able to see a coconut tree. It's like a long tree, and then the house is a single story house. So once you enter, the living room is on the left and there are rooms on the right, and the color of that environment, that place, is something very light pinkish color.
Nithyanandam, this is Srinitya Amritananda. So what Sadashiva is showing me is, in front of the house on the left side, there is a black color grill. When you enter the house, it's mainly either a walkway or for parking vehicles on the left side of the house. And also on the back side of the house, on the second floor, there is a water tank. At the water tank, I see it's a large water tank. And also the inside, when you enter the house, on the living room, I see a oval table in the middle, which is brown in color, and right across is the couch, which is light brown in color, which is L-shaped, which is right across on the right corner.
Great. So, does anyone have anything to add? Okay, then why don't you let us know how they've seen your place. And first, has anyone here ever visited you in New Delhi?
No, ma. Nobody has visited from
nobody.
here.
And you haven't shown photographs of your place to anybody before coming to the stage?
No, never.
Okay. Then please let us know the details that they've described. How does this match?
What Aya said, that matches. It's a single floor, but it's a flat system. My flat is the lower one, and above me there are 2 more floors, which is somebody else's house. There is a water tank on the top, and there is an oval-shaped dining table, and there is a sofa opposite side, which is brown in color. Rest, other things did not match. I mean, this is what is the only thing which matched.
See, when the viewing is happening through the third eye, maybe stretch and look back throughout your life, all the places in which you've lived. It's happened before, actually, on the first day of Sadashivatva. We had someone come to the stage and we did remote viewing for her place. And literally, each one of us who looked saw a totally different house. Afterwards, when she looked back, she realized every single detail everyone described matched one of the places she had lived before. Throughout her life, she had moved many times. So if we're thinking only of the current residence, it might seem as if only one of the scanners has described it accurately. But no doubt, what Jagat Prema and Ariventan had described, what Sadashiva shows is there. So if you can think and...
There had never been a house where I had a spiral staircase, so that aspect is not matching any of my houses anywhere I have lived.
Then one day I think you'll have to come back and report to us when you buy a new place that has this kind of a staircase.
Maybe, yes.
Actually, the most beautiful, one of the coolest things about the third eye initiations and these Shaktis that demonstrate is that it's beyond time and space, and sometimes the details we reveal are things that we would never imagine. There was an incident once when someone scanned an apartment, and this was for an inner awakening participant, and she said, "Your walls are blue color." And that participant really insisted, "No, they're pink, they're pink, they're pink," and was adamant that the entire reading was not accurate. Later she called that person and said, "Actually, while I was here, without informing me, my husband had the place painted blue." So we never know what's going on. Maybe when you get back and check, you'll see something else is there. And how about on this side? Who's ready to start describing where Janelle has lived? This is also a very interesting house scanning because Janelle is also here for Sadashivatva, which means she's now also an Adheenavasi. So it's no longer your place that we're scanning, it's the place that you left to come to Kailash. Okay, who's ready to start?
Nithyananda. My name is Sri Nithyananda. So what Sadashiva showed was first in your bedroom. What I was able to see is, I saw it's very colorful. I saw that the carpet is like very long, thick, and that there's nice drapes on the window. I saw an area where you burn incense, candles, and that there was a thick bundle of sage there, which was burnt. And I saw some big crystals in your room as well. One was amethyst, one was clear quartz, and then I saw that in your kitchen there was a big bowl on the kitchen table which had a lot of fruit in it, a lot of bananas, and so that's what I was able to see.
Okay, anybody else? I also did a scanning for Janelle when we were playing with these Shaktis. And the same thing Neeraja said was the very first thing that I said. It's so colorful. So it's neat that both of our third eyes, Sadashiva, showed the same detail first. So please go ahead. Who's going next?
Nithyananda. My name is Jan. What Sadashiva showed me was, I also too scanned your bedroom because I like to look in the rooms. I saw your vanity, and you have like tons of little trinkets and jewels and your hair products. Inside the drawers, you have like pictures, a lot of pictures of just your mementos, old school days. Also, I went to the bathroom part, and it's white. The countertop is white. The mirror outside is white. You have white, not track lighting, but the big white round bulbs. furry rug in the front of the sink. And inside, back to your bedroom. The bed is queen size. I also too saw it's very colorful. Your closet was a little bit messy. Stuff put all over, but that's what Sadashiva was showing me.
Nithyanandam. It's really interesting because exactly the first thing I saw also was the carpet, the white kind of all carpeted floor, and also the white railing of like a staircase, wood painted in white, and some crystals hanging also. I saw some kind of butterflies and crystals hanging, a lot of colorful accessories and decorations. And a lot of natural light also. It's very very bright room. And it's very comfortable, like a lot of furry, and like the carpet itself is very like fluffy, and there's white cushions and sitting area. It's very comfortable. So that's what Sadashiva is showing.
Okay, anybody else? Then Janelle, why don't you let them know how they've described your place?
Okay, so almost every single thing they said was absolutely on point, and it's mixed between two different homes that I lived in. The very last one I lived in, I have very colorful tapestries all over my walls, and I burn sage like every day. I burn incense constantly. I have 3 windows that illuminate lots of light in that room, and it was actually a basement, but it illuminated so much light, so I never put curtains up in that basement. But in the house I lived in previously, I did have long curtains, and I have things hanging from my ceiling, and I am messy. And I have crystals everywhere. That was definitely have lots of hair product. So what they saw was, I'm blown away right now, actually. It was very, very on point.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I do want to say I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I didn't mention that before.
Thank you. Nice shout out to Tulsa. So thank you both.
May I say something?
Yes, definitely.
What Ayya said, that spiral staircase, it is not a spiral staircase. The house where I was staying earlier, there is a staircase which is like this, it goes up. So that may be the aspect which must have.
There we go. Thank you. Actually, we ourselves have the tendency, when we move to a new place, we'll forget the details of the previous places we've lived. But Sadashiva doesn't forget. Sadashiva sees everything as it is all the time. So thank you for clarifying that. And the next Shakti we're going to demonstrate will be body scanning. So you can both go back. And I'd like 2 more volunteers, one on the gent side, it looks like one has already arrived, and one on the ladies' side, someone who has never before come to the stage to have a body scanning. So anyone here, you can be here for a program, you can be a visitor, you can be anybody in the hall, as long as you've never before come. Yes, Ma, please come. So the same way remote viewing happens, through that connection, through the Shaktipada, the oneness with Sadashiva, body scanning happens the same way. Only this time, instead of looking remotely into space and time and seeing another part of the world, the Nithyananda yogis will be focusing their gaze on the person standing in front of them, looking in and seeing exactly what's happening in the body, and also why, and if there's something that's not in alignment, offering a solution, how it can be brought into balance. So is everyone ready? The volunteers, if you can give them each a microphone, we'll first have our 2 volunteers introduce themselves. Go ahead, Ma.
My name is Manithya Pragobananda, and I currently reside here. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
My name is Sundar. I'm an Adheenavasi.
Wonderful. And where are you coming from?
Oh, I used to live in the US for a long time. Now I am staying in Chennai.
From Chennai. But now you're staying here.
I'm an Adheenavasi. That's it.
Good. Okay, so are all our Nithyananda yogis ready? Those who are doing the body scanning? Great. So please start. In the same way we'd hear that excited laughter in the hall while doing the remote vision, we've heard a lot of excited laughter in the hall while doing the body scanning. Because there's no way we can imagine the tremendous detail the third eye is able to reveal until it starts coming out. And one new happening, it started just 2 days back for the first time ever. Those who are here for Sadashivatva, we're not only scanning each other physically present, we're also doing remote viewing and body scanning for friends of ours on Facebook. We're doing Facebook Live, just as some of you must be watching this program now. And in Facebook Live, we're inviting our friends and our viewers to leave in the comments their name and if they'd like a body scanning or a remote viewing. And without even having that person standing in front of us, we're able to see exactly what's going on in their body. It is so cool and so exciting. Actually, one experience I had with this, the day that we first started, I had no idea what was going to happen because I'd never before done this remotely. But I just started going live on Facebook, trusting somebody's going to tune in, even though the times weren't announced. And immediately there were 20 viewers. And I said, if any of you are watching this and you'd like a body scanning, or you'd like me to describe the place where you live, just let me know in the comments. And one girl immediately commented saying that yes, she wants a body scanning because she's not at all well. And the first thing I told her was Sadashiva will show through the third eye whether somebody's well or not. That doesn't even need to be said in advance. He gives us these details. Then I just chanted the Mahavakya, connected with Swamiji and went for it. It was a totally blind reading because her profile picture was not her actual picture. And the name that she was using is not her actual name, and I've never met her before. I don't know anything about her. But immediately I could see that it's not that she's not well, she's just having some fever pains. So I described that she's having some severe cramping in her shoulders and in her legs. She has a blocked nose and sinus pressure because of this fever. Immediately the comment section in that Facebook Live got flooded with wow, 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 OMG, OMG. She said it was 2,000% accurate. And besides that, Sadashiva was also showing that part of the reason she's not healing from this condition is that she's not drinking enough water or enough fluids. As soon as I mentioned that, she commented back again, OMG, I've been too lazy to get up and get myself water or get anything to drink because I live alone, so I've been laying in bed and I think I might be dehydrated. So exactly what the third eye is showing, it's too amazing. And these details are details that are not universal. It's not like this can be faked because not every condition applies to every body. So it's such an exciting Shakti to express. Is anyone ready to go? I think you look like you're ready. Yes, please go ahead.
Nithyananda, Sadashiva says, you had a very normal birth in your early childhood. You were born as a normal child, and later in your early childhood, in your growing years, around 8, 9, you developed polio infection, and that left you a lot of deformities. And mainly it is on your the left side, and the left knees and your left femur, they're all shrunk, and your scapula on the left side shoulder also is having problems. And the vertebral columns all have experienced some kind of changes of the polio effects, after effects. And these deformities are causing you difficulties, but it is not mentally, consciously not causing you any problems. You are still a better person and a beautiful human being. And as far as when I start the scanning of your head, the eye problem is not a recent one, and this also you have been having for a very long time. And this basically mostly due to your the weakness in your iris muscles that is holding the lens, which is not able to focus. So that is why your acuity keeps on increasing the power as you age up. Hopefully with your third eye initiations from Sadashiva, it should make a big difference for you in the future. And as far as your, you have been a very poor eater and very selective too, and that is causing you some digestive problems, mainly the long stasis in your intestines. We call it sojourn, the time taken for the food to travel from mouth to the other end. So there is a delayed process in that. That stasis is causing, even though you are taking enema, that enema alone is not sufficient. You should eat properly, balanced food. Even if you take little quantity, you take all the food so that it will get balanced and your digestion will improve. I see the bile stasis in the gallbladder, which is not flowing as much it should flow into your intestines. Because of that, you have little pitta effect. So you will feel like a kind of restlessness or irritation and things like that. So again, our suggestions of haritaki and regular enema, this should take care of your things. This is what I find. You maybe even find some kind of what do you call it? Lines in your cracks in your feet, probably, if due to that pitta effect. And this is what I could see about.
Great. A couple of other things that I'd like to add. One was, again, related to the digestion. I think the word that came up strongly was liver. So maybe to get that tested out and making sure that's working fine. I don't think it's anything serious, but something worth looking into right away. The other image I had was of just you sitting under a shower. I don't know if you're missing it or what it is, but very strong thing of really wanting to take a nice big shower, long shower. So those are the only things Mahadev showed, Sadashiva showed me.
So Sundaraya, why don't you let them know how their scanning has described?
Really, what Aya said was almost 100% right. I got polio at a very young age. I was told that I got polio at the age of 1. It should be around that age because I didn't remember that I had polio. So I was very young then. Okay, and almost all the things he said were 100% right. Okay, and all the things he said were 100% correct. And yes, I have stomach issues. Yes, I have. It takes a long time for me to digest food, and a lot of it due to the scoliosis and the structural defects. And the only thing is my feet are very clean. No pitta sign, thanks to Swamiji. And I do take haritaki very regularly. And what Aya said was great because ever since Sadashiva started, Sadashivatva started, I had to cut down severely on my showering time. I used to take like 30-minute showers. That way I relax the whole body, and it is now 5-minute shower. So he was 100% right on that. Okay, and I chose to be a volunteer just because I want to be on stage close to Swamiji. That's all. Yes, thank you.
Actually, that sentiment Sundaraya shared at the end, he's come up for the scanning just because he wants to be on the stage close to Swamiji. That's something that I've heard in so many people who come for glimpses of my inner awakening. The moment we call volunteers, those who are program participants when IA happens, to say who wants to share your experience tomorrow. Sometimes instead of the Adheenavasis interviewing them to see whether or not they should come up and share, they're interviewing us asking, if I come up to the stage, will Swamiji be there? And that's really one of the sweetest moments, but luckily, unlike those IA participants, as a Sadashivatva participant, now you get to live with Swamiji. On the side you're ready, please go ahead.
Nithyanandam. So what Sadashiva was showing me was, I saw like your chest area, like your respiratory area light up, so it's like you have trouble breathing, and also like your stomach, so it was showing me like you have indigestion or blockages. And also I saw what was shown to me was that you have tension like around your shoulder area, especially with your right shoulder, like your right shoulder area. That's what it was being shown to me.
Nithyananda, I was able to see was that overall, Sadashiva is showing that you have a strong